Sup, fellas? So, a lot of people have been asking for a 1-down difficulty build. And, well, here's the one that I've been using for the most part. Keep in mind that the difficulty is still really new, and a lot of people, including myself, are still playing around with a lot of setups and trying to see what works best and whatnot. But for now, this is something I've taken a fancy to, and it works pretty well for me. So I'll quickly go over the skills and the weapons, and I'll get to talking more about why I chose what I did and kind of how it relates to the scope of this difficulty. So I guess I'll start with the skills. I have Combat Medic, Quick Fix, Uppers, and Inspire. You know, not very surprising, always gotta have Inspire. In Enforcer and Technician, I don't really have that many skills, mostly just picked up a few things for niceties, and I had a few extra skill points, so I dumped them here. Underdog for a little bit of extra damage. Resilience, gotta resist the flashbangs. Flashbang duration can be brutal on higher difficulties. Transporter for moving bags. Scavenger, because I like stealing my teammates' ammo. Hoi 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 hoi. And Steady Grip, 1 point for 8 weapon accuracy across the board. Pretty handy to have. Now, the majority of my points are going to be in Ghost and Fugitive. In Ghost, mainly what I wanted was Sneaky Bastard and Low Blow. I can only pick these up basic, so I have to really worry about getting low visibility. But this is, mostly for survivability, and this one for combat. Getting up to it, just, picking up Second Wind. Second Wind is pretty nice, though. Getting that speed boost for you and your team is really nice. Duck and cover, parkour and inner pockets, mobility, dodge, concealment stuff. Again, mostly just stuff to get up to Sneaky Bastard. Trying to min-max my points here as best as possible. And in Fugitive, I have a lot of pistol skills, and I also have 9 lives and Swan Song. Of course, Swan Song, pretty handy. You probably know why, I'll go more into that later. But 9 lives, it does work on 1 down. So on 1 down difficulty, you only have 1 down to work with before you go gray. 9 lives does extend that, so it makes it pretty much a must-have skill for this difficulty. And I have Equilibrium, Gun Nut, One Hand Talent, Desperado, and Trigger Happy all aced. Beefing up my pistols. I am using a 3-pistol setup, so it'll be handy to have all those. I would have liked to pick up a Kimbo, but I don't really have any points to spare from it, so yeah. Would be nice to get the extra ammo, but not sweating it too much. Anyway, for my weapons, my primary, I mostly stick to the Akimbo Deagles, which is modded with solely the Bling Grip. I gotta worry about concealment, so I ignore most of the other mods. For my secondary, I'm using the Bronco 44, which is modded pretty much the same way, mostly for concealment. So it has the Ergo Wooden Grip, Pocket Surprise Barrel, and the Slimline Body. And actually, I want to talk a little bit more about my primaries. While I will use this setup mostly, depending on what my team has, I might switch on my primary. Like, say we might need someone to help out a bit more with dealing with specials, right? Or just doing more damage in general because bulldozers aren't dying fast enough. I might switch over to one of the bows, which have been buffed immensely right now, and they do some crazy damage. Like Planesrider Bow does 700, more than most of the snipers. Light Crossbow does 1500, Heavy Crossbow and Longbow does 4000 damage. And since these have good concealment, they work just fine with my build. So I don't mind bringing one of these if the situation calls for it, or if I just feel like it. My preference being the Light Crossbow because, well, it has a pretty bearable reload, while Heavy Crossbow, Longbow, just pretty derpy. And Planesrider Bow just feels a little meh. And if we're actually thinking about the other side of the spectrum, we need more people focusing on dealing with all the weaker cops. They're swarming us. They're coming at us too hard. I might go with a GL40 with flame grenades. And the way I've modded that is with the flame grenade, pirate barrel, and the sawed-off stock. Mostly for concealment, again. But it also does look kind of cool as a little pirate pistol type thing. But yeah, this is on the opposite side of the spectrum where, we're holding out someplace. There's a map with a lot of choke points. We're going to be pretty stationary, and we have to deter enemies from just running right into us. GL40 is a pretty good option for that. But for versatility and for, well, just because of my skills too, mostly I'll just be using the Akimbo Deagles. Now for the rest of my setup, electrical brass knucks, because, well, the electrical melees, like the buzzer and the electrical brass knucks, still work really well on all the enemies. They still get tased, so no reason not to bring that. Throwable, I've been playing around with a lot of throwables. Nothing really seems to stand out too much, you know, because things like the javelin and the throwing axe, while they do a lot of damage, they're not exactly that easy to use. Shurikens, you know, they're fast, but the poison doesn't seem to be doing too much. Explosives, you know, they're kind of self-explanatory. So I've just been playing around with those. Mostly been using the new concussion grenade. Because of my skills, I have first aid, using a 2-piece suit, and for my perk deck, I am using Rogue. Now let's get into the gameplay. So, the first thing I wanted to start with is that this build is not some grand solution to all your one-down problems. As I mentioned earlier, the difficulty hasn't been out that long, and everyone's still bumbling about trying to find out different stuff that works. This doubles for both the weapons and the skills. And unlike the other difficulties like Death Wish, where, you know, you can make a build that works extremely well to pick up the slack of your teammates, and you could generally make a super self-sufficient build where you're not reliant on outside help or assets, that's a lot harder to do on one down, and stuff like team coordination is a really important factor when doing this difficulty. Like, say for example, you should have some guys that are proficient at taking out specials, you know, with a high damage weapon or something. Or someone that's really great with crowd control using something like a flamethrower or flame nades. And you also have to have people bringing ammo, bringing meds, having this skill, having that skill, having drill skills, stuff like that. Earlier, I talked about the different weapons that I could use for this build, and it really just depends on what my other teammates are using. If there's some role that needs to be filled, I'll try to see if I can fill it. This difficulty requires a lot more coordination and communication for success, so you have to be pretty flexible. So let's go a bit more into the actual build. Dodge right now is the king of survivability, kind of like when Death Wish first came out and we didn't have the myriad of perk decks and weapons that we do now. While armor does well in very specific situations, generally that's what makes it less usable, because whenever you're faced with a situation that armor isn't great at, like running around to get to an objective or to the escape even, it falls extremely short. Enemies right now do crazy amounts of damage, and with their accuracy and spawn rate, you get bombarded with enemy fire pretty much constantly, so it's kinda hard to justify an armor build at the moment. Of course, things may change in the future, but for now it is what it is, and I'm also strictly speaking about my own preference, so keep that in mind. So with this build, I have Rogue on for the max amount of dodge possible. I find that the kind of half dodge, half regen perk decks and setups, they don't really do so well since they have that feeling of being mediocre at two things rather than excelling at a single thing. So for that reason I use Rogue, and I also picked up Sneaky Bastard to get all the dodge I possibly can. You know, I also got Duck and Cover, Parkour Into Pockets for more dodge and mobility, but those are mostly just to get up to Sneaky Bastard. In Fugitive, I've also picked up 9 Lives and Swan Song. These two skills are extremely handy for this difficulty. As I mentioned probably earlier, 9 Lives does give you an extra down to work with, so there's no reason not to take that skill on one down. It's pretty much a must. Swan Song is also always handy to have, especially on a dodge build where, you know, when you die, you can still complete the objective that you were doing, whether it's grabbing something way out in the open that nobody wants to go get, or staying in a relatively tight spot to fix a drill. Of course, the infinite ammo is also really handy to have when you need to take out a large group of enemies or a dozer or something. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, that's what I got for my survivability. Now, I also have Inspire. I don't think much needs to be said about that either. Inspire is always a pretty handy skill to have, and it's, well, pretty necessary if you decide to play on higher difficulties with other people. I also have Mini Med, since running Rogue means I have no way to regenerate my health without the aid of skills or equipment, and since I have no skills for health regen at the moment, I decided to go with First Aid Kits. Minis have also been a lot more useful now due to the whole you only get one down before you go gray mechanic of one down difficulty. So sometimes instead of waiting to expunge all of your downs before you med up, it's better just to try to prevent yourself from dying. Of course, that's easier said than done, but you know how it is. The aced version of uppers is also pretty handy on this difficulty because sometimes you die so fast you won't even notice it. And having mini-meds heal you as you're dying because you are within range of one is really nice to have when you're holding the line or staying within a general area. So that's that. Now let's talk about the combat skills. In the past, shotguns were pretty much the be-all, end-all setup for higher difficulties. They had the ability to chain one-shot kills, had incredible crowd-clearing potential, and basically ensured that you could have one weapon do everything for you. You know, you could pack just a Loco or a Judge or maybe one of the double barrels. They could do everything. Then you could have, you know, pretty much anything you want as your secondary weapon, which usually ended up being like a sniper or explosive weapon just for dozers. And, well, you can't really have that anymore because dozers don't get stunned by anything, but you know how it is. So while they're still good, shotguns aren't nearly as efficient as they once was, you know. Even the hardest hitting ones, like the double barrels, with all the damage skills, they still take quite a bit to kill enemies. You know, so when you have a double barrel shotgun that takes both shot to kill one of the mob enemies, not even specials, it might be time to look for other alternatives. So I decided to give pistols another go, and so far I've been enjoying them a lot. I cannot stress enough though that this is very early into One Down's introduction to the game, and there are probably some setups out there that work really well that we just haven't found yet, but for now this is something that works for me. So in Ghost I have crits from low blow, and in Fugitive I have pretty much all the pistol skills excluding the akimbo ones. You know, like I said, I would love to have the akimbo skill, but I can't really move around points in my build to obtain it. Since I am also pretty open to changing my primary, there's no real reason, I guess, to investing solely in a skill for akimbo. I guess it wouldn't be all that helpful or optimized. But yeah, I also use the strong pistols, so with all the pistol skills and the crits, they've been working pretty well for me. With all the rebalancing of skills and weapons, things like crits and trigger happy weren't all that common for people to pick up, especially me. You know, because your weapons were pretty proficient without it, and in the past they were still good enough to deal with anything on Death Wish, whereas now, on One Down, enemies have so much health that it's actually difficult to kill them with any setup. Having one or the other in the past, you know, trigger happy or crits, they were kind of considered overkill sometimes, you know? But now that's a different story. It kind of barely puts you on the field to play. So between pistol reload speed, the fire rate, the damage, your pistols are pretty goddamn good. With trigger happy being the overkill of pistols, you take down things like specials and bulldozers much faster if you can stack the damage after getting a few shots in on enemies. Combine that with crits, and you can have something really scary in your arsenal. Of course, you could swap the pistols for a bow right now. Getting a crit from a bow does way more damage than anything else, and that kills dozers really, really fast. But overall, I find more consistency and success with the pistols, since they have better crowd clearing potential, and they have a lot more utility when dealing with enemies in Swan Song. Likewise, they're also easier to use for long range and snipers. So, I don't know, I can't say that much about this because this build is something you really just gotta try and see for yourself, see if it works, see if you like it. One Down difficulty is a whole nother monster, you know, One Down enemies, they're just stupidly tanky, where you can try to min-max your build and save on a bullet here or there, get the most out of every point, get the most out of every weapon. You just really gotta see what works. Trying to balance survivability and combat, stressing over team comp, what have you. It's just all part of the One Down difficulty. Definitely brings a big challenge to the table, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. This is my build that I've been rolling with. I've seen some decent success with it, you know, but with a team-based game, it really also depends on your teammates too. But this is kind of what I've been using, so if you like what you see, give it a go. Since there's still plenty of gameplay left, I thought it'd be a shame to just let it go to waste, so here, enjoy the rest of it. This is actually, funny story, this is One Down difficulty safe house raid that I ended up recording, and I botched it because I forgot to record my own voice, so yeah. Enjoy.
See that? Great, huh? I'm gonna see if I can crit. Nope. That taser got it instead. Yeah.
Oh! Oh!
Dude, tasers are so much more inconvenient these days. I mean, lately it's just like I need to get through like this one thing and get cockblocked.
Please help. Fuck.
Oh no!
I should have put more kit.
I'm glad bulldozers are way harder to kill, but they don't shoot as fast anymore. I appreciate that. It's better. That's a good balance, the dozers. Make them really hard to kill and dangerous, but they have to get a couple of really good shots in. Which is what they run in for. That's a seal dozer. Oh! Yeah, like that.
I don't know anything good though than shield. D&D.
I'm blind.
I have no idea where this taser is. Oh, he's over there.
Got both the hostages dead. Well, I don't want to die, I want to live. I want to see my grandchildren. Surrender. There's one right there.
I hear him upstairs. Or
If anyone wants to convert the one near Bonnie's.
oh, I like this. Look at this. Look at Hoxton's conspiracy board here. Who, where, when, and how.
Yes, again. Oh, oh fuck. I'm running back. Right back to HQ.
I am about to like. Oh, never mind. Not gonna trade myself.
Go, my minions, go.
I got a hostage upstairs.
We have 2 charges left.
We're also all alive.
Yeah, I should just shoot myself.
Yep. Oh man, look at this army of 4 converted. They're tanky as fuck.
Force. Oh, go crit! This is amazing. Wait. What exactly does crits do to damage?
Oh no, there's a thing here.
It's like times 5, I think.
Victim. Looks like he's going to kill herself.
Oh, jeez.
We just butt fucks everybody in one go.
Toolboxes.
I'm taking it because I can't run out for ammo. Oh god.
Oh, I have no more kids.
I'm gonna have to like wait until they get real close to start shooting now because I'm gonna run out of ammo.
Oh, that hurts. Get the ones. I'm great now. Oh, I got one charge left.
Oh no. Oh no.
I really want that Dom right now. Tempting me.
Oh, got a little bit of ammo.
Oh, we're at the last wave. I was
Should be done pretty soon.
Better be blissful.
like how in terms of canon, this is really bad. We just got a safe house and now it's raided.
Yeah, in like 4 days. Okay, I died.
I need the ammo. I need
It's
this.
fine. Everything's fine. I think we did it. I think we won.
Now I can finally
As
have
soon
you
as we kill
for
these guys
myself.
over here. It's really sad we're gonna have to kill the Doms canonically after this is over. Huh? Right? Kinda sad when you think about it. We can afford
Oh, we're done.
no witnesses!
Yeah. I don't know how he somehow managed to solve this problem.
Ah, 3 coins.
Get it.
You got 0 from income?
I got 9 total.
I got 9 total. Huzzah!
By what, bro? Like 75% of us are Asian.